Ding dong YouTube, welcome back to the channel. The Jobless Coder here, and I'm tired. I've slept for days. I haven't done much in the past little bit here. Um, I, it's exhausting. I just had a 4 hour long, 5 hour long argument in a group chat with a ton of people. I'd asked for one simple thing for help, something that I couldn't figure out. That I just asked for help, and the whole chat eventually devolved into basically a bashing of my skills, and I I don't know what I'm doing, okay? I'm not some super genius who has all of the answers. There's so many things that I don't understand when it comes to software. I don't know what I'm doing. And when it comes to life, if you recognize your shortcomings, if you can acknowledge the fact that you don't know what you're doing, and you can reach out to other people and ask for help, then the intention is that they would actually provide the help that you want or the help that you need, and it just wouldn't become some bashing of your talents and skills and, oh, well, you just don't know what you're doing, and you don't have the knowledge to do this, you don't have the knowledge to do that. I asked for help, and it completely devolves from there, and then it got completely sidetracked into a ton of other different topics that had nothing to do with the initial question that I asked. And I still don't know what I'm supposed to do now. I guess I just go back to Google and go back to YouTube, and maybe somebody there can help me in a tutorial or something. Or I just spend another 3 days on this problem and try to figure it out, and hope I find the answers. Or I just move on from there. I kind of want this video to be a bit different because a lot of the content that I've made and that I've produced has been really, I guess, brooding and angry, and I'm just tired. I don't want to just be upset and yelling and screaming at the world, and this isn't working out and that isn't working out. And so I'm just going to take a different approach for this video, and I'm just going to talk and tell it like it is. And essentially, I've built a house of cards, and the entire thing is just days from absolutely collapsing and imploding on itself, and I don't even know what's going to happen then. For starters, I was asked by this woman who contracted me to build her this app that I'm currently working on, I guess, how long it would take. I had needed to scope the project out and build it into the sprints for the agile development. That's what you do as a developer. You break it down into all of the subtasks. You estimate how long it's going to take, and you say, yeah, the project's going to be done in 2 months. It's going to be done in 3 months or 4 months. And I had essentially told her that it would be about a 2-month project. My goal was to work on it from April until, well, it was mid-April she hired me, so from mid-April to mid-May would be 1 month, mid-June would be 2 months, and then I wanted to have it done. And then I had a bit of extra leeway there for an extra month into July in case it went overboard. And now that it's mid-July and it's approaching the end of July and it's still not done, I'm in a big heap of trouble. I want to make it clear that this woman specifically is not upset with me because it's not done, because I've been giving her updates and she's been seeing the changes, and she's really enjoyed the work that I've done on it so far, and she can see the potential for what it will become when I finish, because she's seen it develop as it goes. And so she's not upset with me personally because, oh, you didn't finish it when you said you were going to finish it. But the problem that I have built myself into this house of cards is that she's now ran out of her budget, because the budget was budgeted over a 2-month period under the expectations that at the end of that time I would be finished. So she spent her entire budget for this project that's not yet done, and now I am obligated to continue to work on it essentially for free and finish it. It's not for free because I've been paid. I've got the money that she has given to me. It's just that I'm not done yet, and now I'm just working my ass off trying to finish it or get something done that we can publish or produce, or that I can say, yeah, this is something that I'm gonna put my name on as being something that I developed for this woman and the budget that she initially prospected for me. I've used all money that I did get from her for basically living expenses. And so it wasn't a big budget to begin with anyways. It was over a 2-month period, and now that it's paid in full. And the problem is that in 2 weeks from now, I'm expected to pay yet again another $1,500 for rent. And because I wasn't able to pay on time the previous month, my crazy landlord has now put this, I guess, additional rule to the rent that it's a 5% per day interest on the rent. Now, I think that's absolutely batshit crazy. You may think otherwise, but if you think about it, think about your car loan, think about your credit card, think about bank loans, lines of credit, mortgage. There isn't any single one of those that has a late fee as steep as 5% per day. That's $70 additional per day. If I don't pay my rent within the first week, it goes from $1,500 and now it's approaching $2,000 per month in rent if I don't pay in a week or the first week and a half. That's absolutely batshit crazy. How am I supposed to live with that? Because essentially, it's a trap. It's a trap where if I don't pay immediately on the first of the month, I'm just not going to be able to pay, because then it gets way too high for my living expenses, and the next thing I know, I'm getting evicted because I can't pay the rent that's now $2,000 for that 1 month. It's a trap. And the thing is this trap is going to spring on me very, very quickly, because I don't have the money that I need for rent on the 1st of August. And if I don't pay on the 1st of August, by the 2nd of August, it's now $70 more. By the 3rd of August, it's now $70 more. And it just keeps going up and up and up. And because I'm now working basically around the clock without any additional pay for this app, I don't even have the extra additional time in the day to do things like find another side hustle and do that for a bit to get a bit of extra income. I don't know, spend time writing resumes and cover letters and applying for jobs to get a quote-unquote real job where I could earn the money that I need to cover rent. It's not even feasible. At this point, if I went out and I got a job tomorrow working for McDonald's, it wouldn't pan out, because I can't make the $1,400 I need for rent in 2 weeks working at McDonald's. And then it's not going to pay right away either. It's not just going to be money instant into the bank. Now, there is one other thing that has been going on for several months now, is that almost immediately within the time frame of beginning work for this woman, I was in contact with some other people to try and pick up another gig. And the intention was a contract. The intention was that the contract with this woman would end, I would deliver her app, and then I would jump ship immediately to this other thing and continue working from there. Specifically, I've been in contact with 2 guys from Toronto for over 2 months now, and they have this big, grandiose idea to build a new dating app. But the problem is that they wanted to button down all of the legalities for building this app for them before they actually hired a developer. And the thing about dealing with lawyers is they take forever to do anything. And so I kept being told every week, oh yeah, we really, really like your skill set and we really want to hire you, but we're just waiting on the lawyers for this. And, well, initially they were just going to hire me right away, but then they kind of backed off and was like, whoa, hold on, we need to slow down here, we need to get all this legal stuff buttoned down before we go looking for a developer. And I was like, okay, fine, because that was like a couple months ago, that was like a month ago or more. And so I was figuring, oh yeah, I still have over a month to continue working on this app for this woman, and then I'll finish and ship it out to her, and then I'll get hired by these guys by then. But then it was like 2 weeks without contact, and then I would get like some email or phone call from them, and it was like, oh yeah, we're still really interested in you, but we're still waiting on the lawyers. So then it would go another 2 weeks, and then it would be another email, be like, oh yeah, we definitely want to hire you, but we're just waiting on the lawyers. And so they just keep dragging me on and on and on, and until a contract is signed, everything is just hearsay. And so I'm going on the impression that, yeah, things are going to be really good. I'm going to jump ship, and then I'm going to work for them. And then they want to hire me full-time afterwards to do continuing development for them, to do continuing bug fix for them as their lead developer. So this could turn into a year-long project, a several-year-long. It's obviously a startup, so as long as they can keep afloat and not go bankrupt, I could work for these guys, and it could be something that would be really good for me. But until they actually send me a contract to sign and start paying me, it's all hearsay. So this is where the House of Cards really gets interesting, is that I was contacted last Sunday, well, I guess Sunday, and they basically told me that they've now buttoned down all of the legal stuff with the lawyers that they wanted to finish, and so they just had a few final questions for me. I reassured them on everything, and I assured them that I knew what I was doing and that I can deliver everything that they're expecting, and they're like, okay, yeah, sure. So they told me that the next time that I was in contact with them, they would probably have a contract for me to sign. And now I'm just kind of waiting, because if they send me a contract within the next couple days and then I work for them, let's say 2 weeks before I get my first pay, that's already too late. I've missed the first week of rent, and now the rent is way higher than what the first pay they're going to send me is going to cover. If I ask for pay up front, they're probably going to say no, because I haven't done anything for them. Who knows? If it's another 2 weeks or another month before they even send me a contract, and then they're like, oh yeah, we definitely want to hire you, it's kind of too fucking late. It's kind of late to start development on a project when I'm already out on the street and trying to find a new home, or I'm just living homelessness because I've lost my basement suite. And so I've talked with a lot of people about this, like my parents, and my dad is like, oh, well, because I said, well, what if I just told them the gravity of my situation? That, hey, I've been unemployed since February, and I've ran out of money, and if I don't get something immediately, I'm going to be facing the very real possibility of being homeless once again. And so, well, if I tell them the truth, then that's going to make them think that my life is an absolute chaotic mess, which it is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they need to know that. And if I maybe lie to them and say, oh, well, I have this other thing that's coming through, and so if you don't hire me right away, I might have to go with that instead, well, then they're just going to cut their losses and say, oh, well, it's unfortunate we couldn't hire him as a developer, but he's off doing his own thing now, being paid by some other client, which there isn't any. And so if I just tell them to hurry it up, then they're just going to drop me like a hot potato, and that'll be the end of it. And then I'm really screwed, because I don't have anything to look forward to after I finish work for this other woman. And it's like, what difference does it make? If I tell them to hurry up and they don't hire me, or they come back to me and they want to hire me after I've already lost everything, it doesn't make much of a difference. And so then I started thinking about some really, really bad ideas, like really bad. So this woman that I'm working for actually sent me her MacBook in the mail. Now, it was never discussed whether or not it was something that I guess I'm going to get to keep after I'm done working for her. I don't know if she wants me to send it back. I'm going to guess that based on the amount of shipping that she spent to send it here, it was really freaking expensive to ship it here, that she's not going to expect I'm just going to turn around and spend the same amount of cost to ship it back. But it was never really discussed whether or not I'm going to get to keep this Mac. But I have in my possession a Mac. And the one thing that I know about Mac computers is that they're really, really expensive. This is only a couple years old. It's still running the latest software. It's at least over $1,000, but it was also sent to me under the express purpose that I'm going to use it to build the iOS portion of the app. And so I had a really bad idea where, maybe I'm going to have to sell this computer and use the money to cover rent, and then hope that these dating app guys hire me so that I can get my first paycheck from them, which would have covered rent, but it would have been too late for rent, and then I can use that first paycheck instead to buy a new MacBook so that I can actually build the iOS portion for this app, and for them, because they also want cross-platform app development. So I'm going to need a Mac at some point to do these projects. But then if this woman says, oh yeah, now we're done, can you send it back? Well, it's not really your computer anymore. I kind of bought it because I sold your old one. That's just a really bad place to be. But it's also really bad if I go to this woman and I tell her, hey, look, I just lost my house and I can't even work for you anymore, and here's a half-finished product that never got finished because I'm sorry, I don't even have internet anymore. I lost everything. What am I supposed to do? It's kind of hard to build an app when you're digging through dumpster bins looking for food. Now, basically the only option I have left that is the best of the worst possible options, and it's the one that I did, was to essentially go back to her and say, hey, look, this is the situation. I don't have any money. I need to pay rent in 2 weeks, and I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Could you maybe send a bit of extra pay for this app? And obviously she's not very happy because she agreed to a certain amount of money that I agreed that I would do this for her, and she doesn't really want to spend any more. But if I turn around and I tell her, hey, look, here, I can't finish this anymore because I'm homeless, she's also not going to be happy. And if I sell the Mac, which I'm not even sure is mine technically, then she's also not going to be happy. So it seems that no matter which route I take, I'm going to be upsetting somebody. Or I just do nothing, that's a possibility, but then I'm making my landlord upset because they haven't got the rent, and then they're going to kick me out of the house. And so, or I go back to these dating app guys and I'm like, hey, hurry it up. It's either now or never. If you're going to hire me today or just forget it. They're not going to be happy either. So I'm either making them upset, or I'm making my landlord upset, I'm making this woman upset. I can't win. You know, I had dreams at one point. I wanted to go into quantum computing before the entire industry takes off, because when it takes off, it's going to explode, and people are going to make millions and billions of dollars here, there, and everywhere. And I wanted to be a part of that, like ground level access, but that just didn't happen. That just wasn't feasible unless you have a PhD. I mean, that's what I really, really wanted to do, and now I honestly don't even care anymore. I'm just trying to stay off the streets and put food on the table, and that's all I care about anymore. Pay off my debt and keep from losing my house. Is that honestly so much to ask for? To just have a decent life with a decent pay and not be worrying every single day that you're going to get kicked out and you're going to lose everything. It's just going to be taken away from you. I don't even know anymore, and I don't know what I'm going to do, and I just hope that something happens. It's possible that this woman will be able to send a bit of extra money that covers August rent, but again, it's only a temporary fix. And if these dating app guys come back and they decide they don't want to hire me, then I'm dropped on my head again. And the only thing that's going to work is I've placed all my eggs into one basket, into this one house of cards, and it's either going to absolutely explode and completely fall to pieces, or it's actually going to work out. And the only way it's going to work out is if I get additional pay for this app from this woman, and I get hired by these dating app guys, and then I can start working for them. And then the money from that can keep me going on into the future, so I don't have to be worrying about the fact that the app isn't finished. Obviously, at some point, I'll have to pull double duty, working for them and working for her, but that only happens if people actually get their crap together, and they send me contracts, and they send me job offers, and otherwise, I'm just going to get dropped on my head, and I'm going to get kicked onto the streets, and I guess that'll be the end of it. That's about the end of this video. I can't think of anything else I have at the moment to say, but thanks for watching and following my story, and I'll probably maybe update it whenever something changes in the very near future here.